Today we have to discuss about research proposal. This is chapter 2, and the learning outcomes are that after reading this chapter, you should be able to know the attributes of a research proposal and the content of the dissertation and project proposal. Because when you have to write MPhil thesis or PhD thesis, then you have to write a research proposal. We will discuss what would be the content of such research proposal. And if you want to get research grant for a project, then you have to write a project proposal. And in this chapter, we will discuss what would be the content of a project proposal. And after studying this chapter, you would be able to write your research proposal for your MPhil thesis or PhD thesis. Okay. And also you can write the research proposal for your research project. So a research proposal basically describes what, how, and why. Mean what you want to investigate, okay, how will you carry out your research, and why the research is essential to be conducted. Okay, so this is very important. So whenever you want to conduct any research, you should be clear about this, that what you will investigate. Okay, sometimes researcher, they are not clear what they have to do. That's why we ask to write a research proposal. So in the research proposal, they will clearly explain what they are going to study or investigate, and then what methods they will use. Okay, how will you carry out your research? So what methods you will use to carry out your research, and then you have to explain the significance of your research study, why the research is essential. Okay, so researcher will focus on what, how, and why whenever they are research proposal. So proposal, whenever we write a proposal, then later on that proposal content becomes the part of the introduction chapter of the thesis or dissertation, or the introduction section of the project report. Okay, so once you have written your research proposal, then this means most of the part of your thesis or dissertation or project report you have written. Okay, then further you will extend. Okay, so the proposal help the researcher to think practically and to be on the right track. Because if you have not written your proposal, there is a possibility that you will move some other directions. You will not be on the right track. Okay, so proposal will keep you on the right track. What you have to study and what you should not study, because you have limited time to complete your research. So we see that almost all students who intend to write a master thesis to complete their master degree, they also write, they write MPhil thesis or PhD thesis. They have to write a research proposal. So here, if you want to do your MPhil or PhD in university, then you have to write a research proposal, and that research proposal will be submitted to Advanced Studies Research Board of the university, and that board will evaluate the proposal, and once it is approved, then you will be allowed to start your MPhil or thesis research work and complete it in the time which is specified by the board. Okay, and also if you want to apply for scholarship, to study abroad for your master or MPhil or thesis, so then you should have a research proposal. Otherwise, you will not be eligible for the scholarship. So for scholarship also we have to write, proposal, because we apply for scholarship to get admission in master, MPhil or PhD. So they ask what would be your research for your master, MPhil or PhD. So, for that we have to write our research proposal. Then if you want to get some research grant for a research project, then again you have to write a research proposal and submit it to some funding agency. The team evaluate that research proposal, and once it is approved, then you will get the grant, research grant. And these are the attributes of good research proposal. Uh, it is innovative and contain impressive research ideas. Okay. So if it is not innovative and it is not containing impressive research idea, so probably it will be rejected by the board or the technical team which is evaluating the research proposal. Then the research questions and objectives are clear in a good research proposal. We should be clear what would be our research question and what are the objectives that we will achieve with that research study. So clarity is must in research proposal. Otherwise, the evaluation committee will think that the researcher is confused and they will not approve the research proposal. And for a researcher, in the research methodology, we also mention what the research methodology we will follow and what would be the sources of data. Okay, so methodology and data sources should be well known by the researcher, and it should be stated in the research proposal that which methodology would be followed by the researcher and from where the data will be collected, whether primary data will be used and it will be collected through survey and by designing a questionnaire, or whether you will use secondary data, and then if you are using secondary data, what would be the sources of secondary data, whether you will use national sources or whether you will use international sources. You have to specify whether it will be collected from World Bank or IMF or United Nations or ADB, from where you will get the data. And the significance of the study should be justified. Just like we said, why this study is important. So in the significance of a study, you will justify the importance of your research study. And the objectives of the study could be met within the timeline. Okay, because you don't have unlimited time to complete your research. You have a very limited time to complete your research, so you have to set your objectives so that these objectives uh, could be achieved within the timeline decided in the proposal. For example, for MPhil, you will get 1 year. So you have to set your objectives so that within 1 year you could complete your MPhil thesis. So if you have set your objectives, if you have set so many objectives, then it will be difficult to complete your objective within 1 year. Maybe it will take 2 years or 3 years. Then it will be a problem. So objectives should be realistic, and you should be clear that these objectives could be achieved within the timeline. Same is with the research project proposal. Once you are getting a proposal and once you agreed that this proposal, this project grant is for 6 months or 1 year, then your objectives should be set in a way so that you can achieve them within the timeline of the project. And then there is no contradiction in objectives, research question, and methodology. So if there is a contradiction in objective and research question is something, and you are setting your objective in another way. Okay. So what suppose the research question is what is the impact of external debt on economic growth? And then you are setting your objective, how growth will affect external debt. So it's another, there is a contradiction. No? So you want to study the impact of external debt on economic growth, but you set the objective, what is the impact of economic growth on external debt. Your study, suppose for example, is what is the impact of FDI on economic growth. So then you set your objective. What is the impact of economic growth on FDI? So then there should not be any contradiction in your objective, your research question, and methodology. So once you said that what is the impact of FDI on economic growth, this is your research question. Then in the methodology, in your model, it is clear that your dependent variable would be GDP or economic growth, and independent variable would be FDI, because you want to study the effect of FDI on economic growth. So in your model, FDI will be independent variable, economic growth will be dependent variable. But if you make your model like this, that FDI is dependent variable and economic growth or GDP is independent variable. So this means then there is a contradiction in your research question and in your methodology, in your model. So I saw previously some student, whenever they were working on their research uh, project for this class, they had a title different, but their model was contradictory. So you have to be also very careful. Whatever is your title, you have to think over it according to your title, which variable would be dependent variable and which variable would be independent variable, and then you have to make your model accordingly. Then there will not be any contradiction in your research question and methodology and in your title. Okay. Then if it is project proposal, we have to make a budget. Okay. And the proposal narrative are consistent with the budget. Okay. Because if you, whatever you are saying in your proposal and your budget should be in accordance with your proposal objectives, whatever objective you want to achieve through your, you know, your research, or whatever, what would be the data sources and what would be the methodology that you will use, and then you have to prepare your budget for the project proposal according to the proposal narrative. Now if you overstate your budget, then again there is a possibility that your proposal would be rejected. So because those who are evaluating your proposal, the technical team, and they are well aware of the cost of the different items, and they also know how much cost, what would be the total cost of that project. But if you overstate your cost, then there is a possibility. If it is a 1 million project and you are stating that demanding in your budget 3 million, so it means 2 million you are demanding extra. So, and there is a possibility that your budget, your proposal would be rejected because your budget is not acceptable. So if you follow these guidelines, you will come up with a very good research proposal, and there are high chances that your project will get approval from the evaluating body. This is the content of the thesis, dissertation proposal. So these are the main content that we have to keep in our thesis or dissertation proposal. So whenever we are writing MPhil thesis or PhD thesis, then we have to keep these content even in master thesis also. So there would be a cover for the thesis proposal, and we have to decide for the title of the study. There would be an abstract. Why we write abstract for the proposal? Because in the board they mainly focus on the abstract. Normally they don't have enough time to read 15-20 pages of the proposal. So abstract is in one page, so it is easy for them to read the abstract and get an idea about the proposal, research proposal. Okay, so that's why we have to be very careful whenever we are submitting our abstract. Then there is introduction section. In the introduction section, we have to state the background and significance of the study. We have to talk about the research questions, research objectives, and then we have a review of literature section, and then we have methodology section. We have to state our model. We have to discuss about research hypothesis. We have to talk about the data sources, and then there should also be a tentative table of content of your thesis. You should state there would be how many chapters in your thesis, whether there will be 5 chapter or 6 chapter or 8 chapter, and what would be the title of those chapters. So this should also be a part of your thesis proposal. And then finally, you have to put references. So for title of the study, these are the guidelines how to prepare your title. So it should be appealing and meaningful. Okay, looking to the title, we should say that okay, this is a very important research. Okay, that should be carried out. Okay, sometimes research is a very good research, but unfortunately we don't make a very good title, so that research don't get attention of the readers. So title should not be a single word. Sometimes researcher they write a single word, unemployment or inflation or FDI. Then the question is what you want to study. Looking to the title, we should be clear what you want to study. So if you say unemployment, it's not clear what you want to see in unemployment. If you say inflation, again it's not clear what you want to see. If you say FDI, it is not clear whether you want to study the pull factors of FDI, whether you want to study the push factors of FDI, whether you want to study the impact of FDI on economic growth. So it's not clear. No? So that's why your title should not be a single word. There should be a sentence for the title, and this sentence should be short and self-explanatory. Okay, sometimes we write a very long sentence, 4 or 5 lines. So then again, a very long title will not be attractive, and it should not be a conclusion. Okay, so your title should not be a conclusion. If I say my title is FDI has positive effect on economic growth, so this means I concluded that FDI has positive effect on economic growth. Then if you conduct your study and suppose you find that there is a negative effect of FDI on economic growth, then there would be a contradiction in your title and conclusion and your finding. So that's why we don't make a conclusion in our title. We can make a title that effect of FDI on economic growth. We don't know whether the effect of FDI on economic growth would be positive or negative. We will conduct our study, we will do research, and then we will estimate the model. And if we get the positive sign of the coefficient of FDI, and if it is statistically significant, then we will say, okay, there is a positive effect of FDI on economic growth. Or if the coefficient has a negative sign, and if it is statistically significant, then we will say, okay, there is a negative effect of FDI on economic growth. So then you will conclude accordingly, and there will not be a contradiction in your title and in your conclusion or results. So it should not be contradictory to the methodology, as I said earlier. Okay, your research study, your title should not be contradictory to your methodology. Once you say in your title, you are saying that effect of FDI on economic growth. So, but you are making a model where GDP is the independent variable and FDI is a dependent variable. Then there is a contradiction in your title and methodology. Because according to title, FDI should be independent variable, GDP should be dependent variable. But if you are making GDP as independent variable, then it means there is a contradiction in your title and methodology. So making a title of the study is very important step in writing your research proposal. And once you finalize your title and submit your proposal to the Advanced Studies Research Board, and once title and research proposal is approved, then it will be very difficult to change your MPhil or PhD title. Okay, so even revision would be very difficult. So that's why it is very important to be careful about the title that you are submitting, because the approval would be for the title. Okay. Content, you can, there could be a variation in the content of the research proposal, but when you will get a letter for the approval of your MPhil or PhD thesis, in the letter, the title of the thesis would be mentioned, and this title you have to keep till the submission of your thesis, and that title would be printed on the cover page of the thesis. So it is not, if you change it, then it will not be accepted, because your title must be in accordance with the approval which is given in the letter, approval letter. Okay. Then for the research proposal, there should be an abstract, and it motivates the reader to read the full text. So if it is attractive, then they will read the full proposal. Normally in the board, they focus on the abstract. So it should be brief. Normally 100 word to 300 word is for the research paper, but for a proposal, you can use more words. Okay, but it should not be lengthy abstract. Normally 1 page abstract is enough. So within 1 page, you have to 1 page abstract, you have to write your title, then you have to write the background of the study, you have to state the problem, you have to discuss about research question, research objective, the method that you will use, what would be the data sources, and then the researcher, who is the supervisor. These information should be given on the abstract page. And this abstract page is normally read by the board members during the meeting, and then they decide whether to accept the proposal or reject it. So it should be made very carefully. So your abstract, summarizes the essential element of your research proposal. So we don't cite the literature in the abstract, but if something is very important and you want to mention it, then it's okay. But normally in the abstract we avoid citation. And if it is a paper, research paper, then we summarize the method and results and implications. But if it is the proposal for MPhil or PhD, so we discuss about the method. We can discuss about what would be the expected results and what would be the implications of those results. Okay, so this is about the abstract.